What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a good one so far. In this video here, we got a very exciting announcement for you guys. We have the confirmation for the upcoming fusion that's going to be happening on January 8th. We also have another piece of very exciting news here, and we do have confirmation of the upcoming faction. The brand new faction that was promised will be revealed in this video, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all of that. It's going to be an action-packed video. Let's jump right into it. First things first, guys, key dates if you guys have missed it. The collab starts on January 8th and will end on April 8th. April 8th will be the last day you guys can log in to get the brand new free login champion, Ezio. So make sure you guys keep these dates in mind when you guys are going through Raid. Now let's take a look at the upcoming fusion, and it's going to be Cassandra from the Assassin's Creed franchise. It's going to be a mixed fusion event. So mixed fusion, this is also called a hybrid fusion, which means that you will have to collect fragments to fuse epic champions. Then you have to level up those epic champions into 4-star 40 and then level them up into 5-star 50s and then fully ascend them and then fuse those 4 epics into the Cassandra fusion. Also keep in mind that these type of fusions you cannot save. They are time limited. So make sure you fuse her before the fusion event runs out of time. All right, let's read what Playerm has to say about Cassandra. On Thursday, January 8th, we're planning to launch a mixed fusion event for the one and only Cassandra. It would have been nice if they added a little bit of text after her name, because Cassandra, like, come on, you can add a little bit more, right, guys? Add a little bit more there for flavor. She is going to be in the brand new faction, Argonites. Argonites, all right? I have no idea what Argonites means, but Argos. I know there's a sports team called Argos, and they wear like the Greco-Roman style costumes. So Argos. Rarity, she's legendary, and she's going to be a magic affinity, and she's going to be attack base damage dealer, I think. I assume it's going to be a damage dealer. Cassandra is a true mercenary. She was made for PvP combat. However, her passive skill will definitely unlock her potential for PvE content as well. Her skill set was designed to make her turns come faster, while slowing down the enemies by reducing their turn meter and boosting her own. Cassandra has strong and precise single target attacks with the AoE control possibility. And she definitely knows how to survive the battle thanks to her self buff that makes her almost unkillable while the buffs are active, and her passive skill that boosts both her survivability and damage potential. They do provide a little bit of a note here. Please note that the format for this mixed fusion event requires you to fuse the legendary champion from epic champions, while you'll need to summon the epic champions from fragments. Keep in mind that you can summon the epic champions from shards as well, and that's going to save you a bunch of resources. So if you get lucky that way, that's also a possibility. All right, guys, let's take a look at her skill kit here. So we see the new banner up here, the Argonites. That's going to be the new banner. It looks pretty sweet. Let's jump in and check out Cassandra's kit. Visually, honestly, I think she looks a little bit on the plain side. I believe there's some visuals with her with a helmet on. Let me just dig that up for you guys. There you go. Her with the helmet on. What do you guys think? I think with the helmet on, she looks way more cooler. Not to say that her face on this character looks bad or anything, but looks a little bit on the plain side. I like the helmet. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, helmet or no helmet for Cassandra. With that being said, let's jump into the kit here, and yeah, let's go through it. West Wind Rush, that's her A1. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Okay, triple hit attack, that's nice. Attacks one enemy 6 times instead if this champion has 50% HP or less. 6 hitter, wow. I mean, it's basically just repeat attack, right? Each hit decreases the enemy's turn meter by 7.5%. So that's 22.5% turn meter reduction on 1 activation on 3 hits. And increases this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. This effect cannot be resisted if the champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. That's actually pretty nuts. Like the turn meter pushback and then the turn meter increase. This A1 is actually really strong. It's really strong, especially if she's under 50% HP, which means she hits 6 times. 6 hitter, that's going to be 45% turn meter pushback from an A1, and then she increases her own turn meter by 45% on her A1. So her A1s is ridiculously strong. Of course, you need accuracy and all that stuff to make it work, but this effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil. Perfect Veil gives her the opportunity to run it without accuracy potentially. 3 books here for 30% increased damage. Really nice to see that. Let's check out the A2 here. Spear of Leonidas. So if you guys watched my previous like kind of backstory video on Assassin's Creed, Cassandra is actually, you know, she has the Spear of Leonidas. I don't know. She somehow has it. So her A2 is actually, you know, named Spear of Leonidas. Why? That's pretty cool. Attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places decreased defense and HP burn on the target for 3 turns. Wow, 3 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted if this champion's under Veil or Perfect Veil. Places a stun on all enemies for 1 turn if the damage dealt by the skill is more than 50% of the target's max HP. This debuff cannot be resisted if she's under Veil or Perfect Veil. So 3 turn cooldown ability when fully booked. 2 books for 20% damage. Now what I'm seeing about this champion is that she can land decreased defense and HP burn without investing any books. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet, guys. She does require accuracy on this ability, and the stun is conditional to the amount of damage that she can deal. So obviously you gotta build her out with some pretty good gear so that she can activate the stuns, and she'll need accuracy to land the stuns if she's not under Perfect Veil or Veil. Looks like potentially a strong ability. However, if this ability is strong enough to kill an enemy, placing the HP burns a little bit of a waste. But placing the decreased defense before attacking is pretty sweet. We'll have to check on the multipliers on this ability, but it looks okay. The A3 here, Izu's Blessing. So again, after my backstory research, the Izu's Blessing. So Izu is I believe, a type of blood that she has, but basically this blood that she inherited from her parents gives her superhuman strength. So she is, you know, an enhanced human. But yeah, A3 Izu's Blessing, 6 turn cooldown here, 2 books only for a 4 turn cooldown, removes all debuffs from this champion, so self cleanse, heals by 50% of their max HP, and fills their turn meter by 50%. So a self cleanse, self heal, self turn meter boost, places increase attack, shatter. So shatter is the ignore defense. So this is 15% ignore defense, and increase speed on this champion for 2 turns. Passive effect prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive on 1 HP if they are under a increase attack, shatter, and increase speed buff. That's a passive effect. No cooldown. Oh my god. So she cannot die if she has these buffs on her. The 2 turn effect. So all these buffs last for 2 turns, and then she can heal up to 51% HP. This is a really interesting ability. Really interesting ability here. Obviously, you still need a turn to land all this stuff, and it doesn't say that the buffs need to be applied by her specifically, but not too many champions have the shatter buff, so trying to get all of these buffs on her are going to be very difficult. But pretty cool ability here. It's not an attack or anything, it's just, you know, her own protection. Let's check out her first passive. She has 2 passives actually. Everything is permitted. Whenever an enemy's HP drops below 25% after receiving damage from any assassin, they receive additional bonus damage proportionate to this champion's attack. This bonus damage will ignore 100% of the target's defense and cannot be critical. So same passive as Ezio. Everything is permitted. So that is one of the taglines for the Assassin's Creed game. So pretty cool that they have it incorporated into their kit. And I guess she is going to be considered an assassin, and you know, perhaps they all have this cool passive. So it's just going to be an extra little bit of passive damage here. We'll have to see how much it's actually worth. But it does ignore 100% of the target's defense, which could be quite strong. And if multiple assassins are hitting, that's probably just going to be the end of that champion if they get below 25% HP. Let's check out her other passive, Blood of Sparta. Whenever this champion attacks an enemy, increases this champion's attack by an amount equal to 50% of the target's defense. Wow. I wonder what character in the game has the highest defense. Would it be like PvE? I'm trying to think which PvE boss would have really high defense. Not clan boss. Maybe maybe Chimera. Maybe the Hydra. I'm not too sure, but some of them should have insanely high defense. So you're going to boost her attack by 50% of that defense. Whenever an enemy attacks this champion, increases this champion's defense by the amount equal to 50% of the attacker's attack. That's sweet. I mean, this is, just a passive. It just passively happens. Especially in a longer fight against bosses, the increased attack will be pretty insane. There's no cap on this. Whenever this champion attacks an enemy, so increases this champion's attack. Like, there's no cap on this. I'm not 100% sure. No real clarification on this. It must be a cap. Otherwise, it's just going to be her attack's just going to be infinitely scaling. It doesn't make much sense to me, but would be interested to hear what kind of clarification Plarium has for this. Lastly, her aura, 19% speed in all battles. Solid. Just like Ezio, they have the speed in all battles aura, which is really, really good. Just makes her a little bit more versatile. You can use her in different areas. And yeah, just a more worthwhile attribute. Overall, just looking at this kit, I think she looks pretty interesting. She has really good survivability, especially with the Izu's Blessing. She's likely going to bring some pretty good damage as well. Her A1, 30% damage from books. Really, really strong turn meter pushback, really, really strong turn meter fill. Now, the biggest problem here that I see is that she does not bring Veil on herself. That is the biggest problem. Ezio's passive allows him to have Veil for the 2 turns at the start of a turn. But for herself, she has no way of starting off with the Veil. So she needs to be in a team that can provide Veil for her, so you get the benefits of this. Otherwise, you have to build her with accuracy, which is a little bit of a drag. A champion that kind of comes to mind that many people might have in the early game might be somebody like Rector Draft. Rector Draft does provide Veils, which is really, really good. But I think that's probably the biggest thing about her kit. I think you probably need to build her with accuracy. Just to utilize this, her A1, A2 abilities a little bit more consistently. Her A1 turn meter steal and pushback it's strong enough that I think you would really want to build her with accuracy. It's really, really strong A1. And her A2 potentially can be really, really strong as well. Decreased defense with the HP burn and then the team-wide stun potential. But if you're going to spend stats on accuracy, that means you're not going to give her the full damage potential that she could have. So it's a little bit of a trade-off here. I don't know. I think she's really interesting. I kind of like her. I think this pass is really good, unless there's some, clarification here that, really shuts her down. I think it's really, really strong. I'm going to guess that her base stats are going to be pretty bad, though. I'm going to guess her base stats are probably going to be quite low. And this is how Plarium kind of balances her out a little bit, because she basically has invulnerability. She has basically invulnerability with these buffs up, and there's probably some crazy way you can kind of abuse this. I mean, same thing with her passive. Definitely very unique. Definitely probably some way to abuse it as well. But I don't know. Looks like a pretty cool champ though. And she is going to be the first champion announced, fully, I guess, for the brand new faction, the Argonites. We do have a little bit of details here on the Argonites faction, so I'm going to jump into that. All right, so let's see what Plarium has to say about this. The new faction, the Argonites. Cassandra will be the first champion to join the new faction, Argonites. This is the 16th faction and the 4th to join the Nyrizen Union of the Dwarves, Shadowkin, and Sylvan Watchers. In the east of the Lost Isles lay the Argolades, a vast island chain inhabited by the mighty Argonites. While the rest of the Talaria mingled and fought, the Argonites remained isolated, concerned only with their struggles. Now united under one banner, the Argonites have allied with their nearest neighbors, the Nyrizen Union, and seek to welcome outsiders to their lands. Now, when I read this, it kind of reminds me of the whole like Wonder Woman kind of story, or at least it reminded me of the movie, at least, where they kind of live isolated from everybody and they have similar attire, I guess. But it's going to be interesting how they expand on this faction. I would like to see more like non-humanoid characters. You got to touch a little bit on the superhumans, or maybe even like monsters, creatures from this kind of mythology would be pretty cool. But there we go. The first little blurb about the brand new faction with the name revealed and the first champion. Argonites, and first champion will be Cassandra from a collab, which is pretty neat. Now, since we only have one champion, I don't expect this banner to be open in the faction wars anytime soon. They're going to give us some heads up when they will probably open this faction, which gives people a little bit of heads up if you're still working on Lydia, for example, because after they open this faction, you will have to complete this faction to get Lydia. So if you guys are still working on Lydia, it's definitely a good time to push to get her done. At least you have, maybe a couple months left until they start releasing more and more Argonites. I would assume they probably need to release somewhere around 10 champions, probably at least. to start filling out this faction before they can actually open up the faction wars. Anyways, folks, that's going to be it for this video. Brand new champion Cassandra. She will be the fusion coming on January 8th. It's going to be a hybrid fusion, so collect fragment pieces for the epics, level them up, and then fuse the epics into the champion. And we do have the brand new faction announced here, the Argonites. You guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all this. Are you guys interested in Cassandra? How does she look to you guys? Where do you guys think she will be used? If you guys know a little bit more of her backstory, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I've never played any Assassin's Creed games before, so I'll be really interested to hear more of the backstory on some of these characters. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.